Ms. Lubin, as we're being recorded here today, would you please go ahead, state your full name, and then spell both your first and your last name for the record?
Christina Lubin, Christina Lubin.
Okay. And Ms. Lubin, what town do you live in?
Manchester,
How long have you lived here?
24 years.
And are you working right now?
I'm self-employed.
Okay. And what are some of the things that you do being self-employed?
Deliveries, flipping furniture, and a hired-in server.
Okay. And in addition to living here in Manchester, is your residence currently on Dubuque Street?
Yes.
And let me ask you, do you have a daughter?
Yes.
And what's her name?
Kayla Montgomery.
Do you know someone by the name of Adam Montgomery?
Yes.
Who was he?
My daughter's husband.
Do you also know someone by the name of Harmony Montgomery?
Yes.
Who was she?
Adam's daughter.
Go ahead and show you State's Exhibit 1. You recognize this man?
Yes, I do.
Who is this?
Adam Montgomery.
When did you first meet Harmony?
It was shortly after Thanksgiving in 2019.
So you only got to know her for a small time?
One time, yes.
One time. Where did you see her?
At my house.
And I believe you said it was right around Thanksgiving. Is that appropriate?
It was shortly after Thanksgiving, yes.
To your knowledge, was that before or after they got evicted from 77 Guilford Street?
I believe that's after they got evicted.
Ms. Lubin, beginning in the winter, December of 2019, at some point did you receive a phone call from your daughter?
I've spoke to her a couple times. I'm not sure exactly which particular one you're...
Let me be more specific. At some point, did you ever see her and Adam and the two boys at your house, but not with Harmony?
Yes.
And when did that occur in December of 2019?
That was, it was before December. It was shortly after Thanksgiving because I had just put my tree up. And I don't remember the exact date. I just remember shutting off the overhead lights so that the kids could see the Christmas lights and the ornaments.
Okay. And that's when you saw Harmony that
That's
time?
when I saw Harmony.
Later in the month, did they come back to stay with you, for a longer period of time than just one afternoon?
Yes.
Okay. And when they came the second time, was Harmony still there?
No, she wasn't.
When did you find out that they had been evicted from 77 Guilford Street?
Kayla had called me at one point before seeing them at my house about having a flat tire and needing money for it. So I was leaving for the day, so I left them money in a cooler in my side hallway so that they could get their tire fixed.
You left the money in a cooler?
Yes.
Could you describe what did the cooler look like?
It was a red cooler with a white top that would flip open.
Later on, when you saw them next in December, I believe you testified a moment ago that they did not have Harmony at that point. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. Where did you first see them, and how did they get to your house that day?
I picked them up at my sister's house. They went there because they had no place to go. I guess their car broke down at that point, and they had nowhere to go.
Okay.
My sister said they
Well,
definitely
hold on
could
just a
stay
second.
there.
I don't want to necessarily ask you what somebody else said at this point, but I appreciate that. Let me ask a few more questions about what you just told us, though. You stated that you picked them up. What kind of car were you driving?
I had a green minivan, a Ford minivan.
Okay. So were you able to fit your daughter, Adam Montgomery, and the boys in that minivan?
Yes.
Did they have anything else with them? Did they have any luggage with them?
They had some bags with them. I don't remember exactly what.
This second time when they were there without Harmony, did you ask Adam Montgomery where Harmony was?
I asked Kayla.
You asked Kayla. Once they were there with you, how long did they stay before they moved on?
They were there a couple of weeks. I think it was like December 29th, 30th, right around then.
Do you know where they moved to when they left you?
They went to FIT in Manchester.
And FIT, is that short for the Families in Transition Shelter?
Yes.
When they were spending time with you, if you could just go a little bit into detail for us to explain your particular apartment in your building. How, if I were to come visit, how would I be able to get inside your apartment? What are the doors and where are they?
There are 3 doors to my apartment. I'm the full bottom floor. The very front door facing on Dubuque Street is where the mailboxes are, and that door is always locked. There's a middle door to the left-hand side next to a tree, and that's the side door that I have a door to my apartment there, and the people that live on the 2nd and 3rd floor use that door to go up and down the stairs. Then there's a back door where I park my car, and that's the door that I use as my main entrance.
When you said before that you had left money for the family and you had left it in a cooler, where was that cooler located in relation to these 3 doors you just explained?
The middle door that's next to the tree.
That's next to the tree?
Yeah.
So that's a middle door, and you mean the tree outside, not a Christmas
Right,
tree, I
right.
take it. Okay.
Yes.
That particular hallway, the door in and out of that hallway, is that, first of all, is that a hallway that's just yours, or is that a common hallway that other people can use to go up and down
That's
stairs?
a common hallway.
Common hallway. And the cooler, was that stored inside a locked part of your apartment, or was that out in the common hallway?
That was out in the common hallway.
When they stayed with you for those couple of weeks in December, what doorway did they come into your apartment? Did they go in from the back one that you described for yourself, or from that common hallway?
They went through the common hallway.
And did they have a car with them while you were there? Did you see that they owned a car at that point?
In December, no, I didn't see a car. They didn't have a car.
You stated that your apartment's on the ground floor. Is that a first floor, or is this like a basement apartment?
No, it's the first floor.
First floor, got it. And that hallway, what else is in that common hallway besides your cooler that you stored there?
There's a door that goes to the basement that's paddle locked. There's an entrance to my apartment that goes to my dining room. And then there's the stairs to the 2nd and 3rd floor.
The door down to the basement, I believe, is that locked? Not
Yes.
locked. That's the locked one. How long had you owned that red cooler in the hallway?
Couple of years I used it for basketball, for the basketball team.
Did you always store it in the hallway?
No, sometimes it was in the apartment, sometimes it was in the hall. Most of the time it was in the hall when basketball was all done.
You said a moment ago that you left money in the past there for Kayla and for the defendant. Was the cooler in the hallway when you did that?
Yes.
And how would you leave that money so that somebody else wouldn't take it?
So it was next to my apartment door, at the end of the hallway, and I would put money under a piece of cardboard and then close the cover.
So the cardboard was inside the cooler?
Yes.
I'd like to show you what's been marked States Exhibits 28 and 29.
Just a minute.
I'd like to go ahead and show you what's been marked States Exhibit 28 for identification purposes only at this point in time. do you recognize the object in that photo?
Yes,
And what is that object?
that's the red cooler from my apartment.
I'd like to also show you State's Exhibit 29. Actually, and you said that's the cooler in your apartment. Is that generally in the same condition as you would keep it? Hasn't been scratched up or marked or anything else at that point?
Yes, it looks a little bit dirty.
A little
but-
dirty?
Yeah.
I'm not going to show you what's been marked State's Exhibit 29 for identification purposes only. Is that still the same cooler?
It looks like the same cooler.
Okay. And can I ask, are there any other differences that you see with regards to that cooler from how we just looked at it a moment ago versus how you're looking at it there?
It looks really dirty.
Okay. And do you see any stickers that have been placed on there?
Yes, I do.
But still the same cooler?
It looks like the same cooler.
Your Honor, at this point, the state's going to ask for identification to be stricken from State's Exhibit 28.
No objection.
Right, the ID is stricken on Exhibit 28. It's entered as a full exhibit.
So that cooler that we just looked at, that was your cooler that was in the hall?
It looks like my cooler, yes.
And that was there back in December of 2019?
Yes.
Ms. Lubin, I have an item in here that's marked State's Exhibit 77 for identification purposes only. What I would like to do is I would like to open up the top of the packaging so that you can see it, and then ask whether or not you can identify the object, okay?
Okay.
Your Honor, if I may borrow the scissors again, please. Lubin, can you look
Yeah.
if I could ask the witness just to step down for a minute to look inside.
Yes.
So, do you mind stepping down for a minute, please? If you could just look at this object in general, I'm going to go ahead and open it. Other than the conditions it's in, can you see the color,
Yes,
the shape,
yes,
the handle?
yes.
Is this the same cooler?
It looks like the same thing.
Looks like the same cooler to you.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Lubin, if you want to sit down. Is this, I'm sorry, does this look like the same cooler as the one that you identified before with regards to the one that you would leave money in?
Yes.
Did you ever keep anything else in this cooler?
I used it for basketball tournaments, for food.
For food, for basketball tournaments? At some point, did police come to see you at your home to ask you questions about Harmony's disappearance?
Yes.
And later on, did you agree and allow them to do a search of your home relative to that investigation?
Yes, I don't remember them actually searching the home, but they were free to come in and do whatever they like.
And let me ask you, did they take that cooler from you when you met with them on one occasion?
Yes.
Did they explain to you why that they took the cooler, or no?
Not really any detail, they just needed it.
Okay. Do you know why they took the cooler?
I had a suspicion.
What was your suspicion?
I know they were looking for,
Speculation.
I'll withdraw the question, Your Honor.
Objection is sustained.
Ms. Lubin, one thing I do want to make clear, other than the money and the food that you had before for basketball games, and other than the money that you left for Kayla, do you have any idea what else was kept inside this
No.
cooler?
no.
Did Adam Montgomery ever talk to you about this cooler?
Never.
It's my understanding that you do some woodworking.
Yes.
What do you do?
I upcycle and recycle pretty much any furniture I can get my hands on.
What kind of tools do you use to do that?
I have a table saw, I have a circular saw, I have a band saw, I have a sill saw.
Sill saw. What kind of saw is that?
It's a saw that I use to cut go through the nails on pallet wood. It's like it's a handle and it's got long blades that you can put in it.
Long blades? How long?
Well, the blade itself's like this big, and then you have the end piece that attaches inside the machine.
And how does that saw operate? You said it's about yay big. Is it round or is it?
No, it's like just a long blade about this thick, and it kind of vibrates back and forth as it.
I'm assuming you're holding your hands up to be, what, maybe about an inch thick? Is that about right?
Yeah, maybe almost an inch.
Almost an inch? Sorry, Mr. Lee, I apologize for the delay. And could you describe just again, you've got, I believe you said you've got a jigsaw. Do you have a miter saw or a chop saw?
I do have a miter saw, yes.
If you want to go ahead and show you what's been marked Stakes Exhibit 63. Do you have a grinder?
No,
You don't own a grinder.
no, I don't own a grinder.
And how long have you been doing woodworking?
About 6 years.
6 years or so?
Mm-hmm.
It's fair to say you've got a lot of different tools for those jobs.
Mhm.
Woodworking.
Yes.
And a grinder is not one of them.
No.
Let me just have a moment. Just for point of clarification, Your Honor, I apologize. I referred to the cooler as Exhibit 77. It's Exhibit 73, so I apologize for that mistake. And that, Ms. Lubin, I don't have any further questions for you. Thank you very much for your time. I believe defense counsel may have a few.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Caroline Smith, and I do have a few questions for you, and let's start with the tools, okay? Where do you keep your tools?
I have some by the back door on a rack, and then I have some put away in a little storage unit that I made that's on wheels off the side of the dining room area.
Okay, so that's in your some are in the apartment, some are out?
No, they're both in the apartment, just different locations in the apartment. I've
Okay.
had to move them around.
Okay. And the basement, is that something anybody has access to?
No, well, the tenants have access to it because we each have a key,
Okay.
because it's padlocked, but it's not anything that we use to store anything or.
Okay. And I said I'd get to the tools, so I'll get to the tools first. I'm going to show you what has been marked as Exhibit H. Okay. Do you recognize what kind of tool this is?
That's a miter saw.
And that's one of the tools that you have, right?
Yes.
And did you say that you had a circular saw?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to show you a copy of I. Can you tell me what kind of tool is in this image?
That is a circular saw.
Okay, I'm going to show the jury. Now, I want to get a little bit of an understanding of your place and where Kayla, Adam, and the kids stayed. Were they in your apartment?
Yes.
Did you have an extra spare room for them?
Not for them. That was packed full with furniture flipping and tools.
Okay. So it was a room that you had available that you let them use for a while, but it wasn't a room that you had intended for them.
They didn't really use the room. They just put their items in there, their clothes in there, and they slept on the pull-out couch in the living room.
Okay. All right. So all the kids are, and the family is all together.
Hmm.
Okay. So just to get a better idea, and the jury too, of your house, you're on the first floor,
Yes.
and if you're on Dubuque Street, if you look at the right side of the building, but facing Dubuque Street is a door.
Yes.
And then you've got a arched window beside that door,
Yes.
and then on the other side, there's a sidewalk that goes along the side.
Yes.
And I think that you said that there was a door in the middle of the building along that sidewalk,
Yes.
and then in the back of the building, there's another door.
Yes.
And you use the front door?
No.
You use the side door along the sidewalk?
No.
You use the back door?
Yes.
Okay, and that you park there?
Yes.
Okay, so you drive around back of the building, you park, and you can come in the back way.
Yes.
Do you have the whole downstairs?
The whole floor, yes.
Okay, so any door that you go in, you can access your place.
Yes.
You don't necessarily, but you
Right.
can. So the middle door, where did you say that Adam and Kayla and the kids would go in?
The middle door.
The middle door along the sidewalk.
Hmm.
Okay, and the front door would be for tenants going upstairs or something?
They would use the middle door.
Okay, front door was for show?
The front door, you go out and get your mail.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And now I want to talk about when you met Harmony. And you recall that visit, right?
Yes.
And you even recalled what she was wearing, right?
No, I don't recall what she was wearing.
Okay, I'm going to show you a copy of a report that I believe that you were given to review prior to your testimony. And do you remember meeting with the state about your prior testimony?
Yes.
And you reviewed the report that they asked you to review?
I remember reviewing it, yes.
Okay, and you said that it was accurate?
Yes.
Okay. If I show you a copy of that report, will that help refresh your recollection of if at some point you remembered what she was wearing?
Yes.
It's been a chaotic couple of years, huh?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So, I'm going to show you a copy of that page 165 that they gave you. And you can read any of this report about you, but I'm going to ask specifically about what
Okay.
you told them there.
Okay, I just read that part.
Okay. And do you recall that you remembered then that she was wearing a pink jacket?
I don't really remember what she was wearing, like visually. I remember this, I remember everything else in there, but I don't really remember a fuzzy coat. And It
Okay.
doesn't say anything about pink.
And pigtails?
Yes, I remember the pigtails
Okay. And glasses?
and glasses.
And you remember that because you were paying attention to her, right?
She was next to me in the living room.
Okay. So you were able to see her face,
Yes,
and she was adorable.
yes,
And you enjoyed meeting her and trying to get to know her.
she didn't talk much, and they were there very briefly.
Okay. And I believe that you said she looked healthy.
Yes, she did.
Okay. And she was pleasant, didn't talk much, but seemed fine.
She seemed fine, yes.
Okay. Thank you. No, I'm sorry, no further questions.
One quick question, Stephen. I apologize, Your Honor, just one question. You just showed a couple different saws by Attorney Smith a moment ago, and then you look at this, you said this is a grinder, right, Exhibit 63. So, you said, I believe you said you did not own this.
No, I do not have a grinder.
So, haven't owned one in the past either.
Never.
So if somebody saw one new in a box, it wasn't yours?
No. No.
Thank you. No further questions?
Further?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
May I step down?